Hello everyone and welcome back to the Virtual CISO. I am your host Olivia and this is Season 1, Securely Speaking, where we break down the pillars of strong cybersecurity so you can apply them in the real world. Today we're diving into vulnerability management, or as I like to call it, the art of finding cracks before they break you, because vulnerabilities are everywhere. The question is, what are you doing about them? Let's start with the basics. A vulnerability is a weakness in your system, software, or processes that could be exploited by an attacker. This could be unpatched software, misconfigurations, outdated libraries or dependencies, or even human errors. Cyber attackers love vulnerabilities. Why? Because they are easy entry points, and you will be surprised to know that most of the breaches are associated with unpatched vulnerabilities. Think about how many times you hear your team say they are aware of a particular vulnerability and it just hasn't been prioritized for remediation. The holes were there, known, and just not fixed. So, how do we manage these vulnerabilities? To ensure that you're covering vulnerability management end to end, it is important to follow these 5 steps. I like to call it the vulnerability management life cycle. First, we have discovery. You can't fix what you don't know. Use scanners, asset inventories, and CMDBs to find what is in your environment. Second, assessment. Not all vulnerabilities are equal. Use CVSS scores, exploitability, and business context to prioritize your vulnerabilities. Next, we have remediation. You want to patch, reconfigure, or isolate. You should prioritize your vulnerabilities and define SLA for fixing vulnerabilities based on their risk ratings. It goes without saying that critical and high findings should be prioritized for remediation, and you should fix others based on your defined SLAs. Also, we have verification. Now that you've remediated your vulnerabilities, you need to check, did the fix work? The only way you can ensure this is by conducting a risk scan or retest. That is not the end. You also want to factor in reporting. Reporting is where you track trends, measure time to remediate, and show progress. Basically, think of vulnerability management like maintaining a dam. Small cracks can lead to massive breaks. The longer you wait, the harder it is to control the damage. I understand it's not all sunshine and rainbows when it comes to vulnerability management. Vulnerability management isn't easy, and you could face a lot of challenges, which include too many vulnerabilities too little time. But prioritization is key, so focus on what is critical and high. Also, lack of asset visibility. You can't patch what you don't know exists, so knowing your asset is very important. Then you have patch fatigue. Your team can get overwhelmed very quickly. This is where automation comes in. Also, there is operational downtime fears. Patching means reboots or changes. Make sure that you balance security with business continuity. You can start small. Build a culture where fixing vulnerability is a routine, not reactive. There are so many tools on the market that can help make vulnerability management easier. You have vulnerability scanners such as Nexus, Colis, Rapid7. Also, there is patch management tools like Automox, and also there are threat intel that help you prioritize based on real-world exploits. You also want to track metrics such as mean time to remediate, number of open critical or high vulnerability, as well as patch coverage percentage. You can leverage framework like CIS controls. Also, NIST 840 offers guidance for setting up a solid vulnerability and patch management program. Again, it is important to remember this isn't just an IT problem. Security, IT, and business units must collaborate. So, to wrap things up, vulnerability management isn't a one-time project. It is a continuous process. Also, it is important to know that you won't catch everything, but staying proactive keeps attackers on their heels and your organization resilient. As always, thank you for tuning in to the Virtual CISO. If this episode helped you clarify vulnerability management, share it with a colleague or your IT team, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode on logging and monitoring, which is the eyes and ears of your security posture. Until next time, stay secure, stay proactive. I am your host, Olivia. See you soon.